Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Today, big news, further balance updates are on the way. Minaya and Queen EVA. Now, that's two, by the way. Can I just start by saying this can't be that difficult to not do three. Three seems like the number. 3 is a wonderful number, 2 doesn't. But it is Minaya and Queen EVA, two champions that are almost usable, and arguably in some cases are, but not really cool. So let me enjoy my coffee on my Orlando Been There mug. You know, I didn't get an LA one. I didn't get an LA one. That's my bad. We'll have to get there later. All right. You guys ready? I'm not going to put it up on the screen. You guys are going to hear the sweet, sultry sounds of my voice with the playlist called. This is the playlist. The playlist is called. Oh, it doesn't show the playlist anymore. I think it was called Uplifting. Or Journey, Uplifting Journey or something like that. So join me on the uplifting journey to read Minaya. With this rebalance, we have focused on improving Minaya's healing capabilities, which should strengthen her role as a reliable and versatile healer suitable for different areas of the game. Forget about 10k flat heal on her A2. She will now heal by 30% of Minaya's max HP. And on top of that heal reduction debuff, she'll have a chance to land Leech on all enemies. With Coroner on the same team, these debuffs become unresistible. We've removed increased defense buff conditional for her A3, meaning now she'll play block buff on her allies after the heal. As for her passive, when dying, Minaya will not only fill the turn meter of all allies, but also heal them. There's no such thing as too much healing, right? Mending Ways. Attacks one enemy, heals this champion and the ally with the lowest HP by 30%. Let's bring her up so we can compare. She's a banner lord. Old Minaya Inc. If murder had boobs, is essentially what we're looking at here. I just think it's unfair that he got a champion in the game. I just think that's unfair. Okay. Currently, attacks on enemy places a 15% continuous heal buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 2 turns. I didn't mind that one. I actually used that one. So you just broke a team of mine. Thanks. This champion heals this champion and the ally with the lowest HP by 30% of this champion's max HP, which has got a good base HP, so that's good. 75% book to 100%. Oh, places 100% heal reduction debuff and a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted if Coroner is on the same team. Is that Mending Ways? Oh, that's Mending Ways. Sorry. Why wouldn't they just put them all in? Okay, so A1 doesn't change. Okay, never mind. Let's try this again. A1 stays the same. Attacks when enemy places a continuous heal buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 2 turns. I actually love this ability in when you put counterattack on her in a team for like the Eternal Dragon. I think that's what his name is. The one that the 3 allies that you hit in the Doom Tower. Really liked her for that. I gotta get more coffee. I mean, we can tell I need more coffee, right? I can't even pay attention. Okay, so Mending Ways currently attacks one enemy, heals his champion and the ally with the lowest HP by 10,000 HP, and then has that 75 bookable 100% chance for a heal reduction debuff on 2 enemies for 2 turns. So that changes by 30% of this champion's max HP, which should be considered, because you can get her well over 100k, but let's say we get her at 100k, that's going to heal her and the champion with the lowest HP by 30k, so much bigger than that base 10,000, and then has that heal reduction and a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. And then if Coroner is on the same team, I hope they're going to rework Coroner, because he is good, but he's not really good, so that would be kind of cool if that Coroner got a rework sometime. Probably should have happened in the same update, Larian, but that's kind of cool. Can't be resisted. These debuffs can't be resisted. I mean, a heal reduction debuff is interesting, but it's not crazy. Leech is pretty good. It's going to give all your champions a chance to heal. And then Beauty Allure currently heals all allies by 40% of their max HP, places a block debuff buff for 2 turns on champions under an increased defense buff. If the champion is fully healed by this skill, also places a shield on them for 2 turns equal to 25% of the champion's HP. It is 40. It is their max HP, but it is 40%. And the change is this. This sounds way better. Heals all allies by 40% of their max HP. Places a block debuff buff on all allies for 2 turns. So it's a 2-turn block debuff, which is really nice. Too bad there wasn't a cleanse first, but I mean, I guess now I'm just asking for too much. It's just, I guess other champions have that, so. And then if a champion is fully healed by the skill, also places a shield buff on them for two turns of the champion's HP. So that doesn't change. I wish it was her HP for the shield. That would have been nice, but still better. And then Lover's Sacrifice, which is passive, fills the turn meters of all allies by 20% when this champion is killed. Revives this champion with 75% HP when killed if Cornor is on the same team. Now, fills the turn meters of all allies by 20% and heals them by 20% of this champion's max HP when this champion is killed. Revives this champion by the same part. So a lot more healing. I think, yeah, PvE wise, I think probably the non-conditional block debuffs for 2 turns is going to be the biggest deal. I got to lean back. The back is too sore. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be professional. But yeah, okay. Might be more useful in PvE. I don't think that puts her in anywhere that you're like, oh, well, now I can use her again. If you're like have a lot of champions, I don't think that'll necessarily. Well, maybe. Let me think about this. I don't see a use for the heal reduction necessarily, but I do feel like, is there a way you can use her in Cornor now in Hydra? Because you've got an A1 that's continuing. See, that's the problem. She looks like a good Hydra champion, but now she's going to put a continuous heal on the buff with the lowest HP, on the ally with the lowest HP, which is going to make them the sort of probably the target for the Head of Mischief. Unless we can somehow force that to who we want it to be. So that puts a little wrench in it, which is too bad because the rest of it, if she's putting a leech with her A2 on a 3-turn cooldown and healing the champion with the lowest HP by 30% of her HP now, and then on top of that, it's putting a block debuff for 2 turns and a shield if they're already fully healed, or if they get fully healed on a 4-turn cooldown. That's a lot. That's a lot that can be useful. And then if she dies, she can fill turn meters and revives herself if Cornor's on the same team. Also, this can't be resisted if it's on the same team. So if they're on the same team, or sorry, these can't be resisted, which means she wouldn't need any accuracy if it's with Cornor. So it's a guaranteed leech. You put her, I mean, she's only got 1 attack, so maybe I was going to say put her in Hex Gear. Because of this AoE on a 3-turn cooldown wouldn't be the worst, but really one A1 champion with AoE for that. I don't know. I got to think about it. Obviously, it makes her better. I mean, objectively, it makes her better. Does it make her at a point where you can then use her over other healers in certain content of the game? I mean, where we really need help, I would think, if you're a player, is Centranos and Doom Tower would be the 2 areas you're like, hey. And Hydra, right? That's kind of the area that probably still warrants the most progression for the average player. If that A1, if there's a way we can predict that A1, then I think she's really good with Hydra. And Cornor's got a pretty good kit for Hydra when she's on the team. It's just that you can get in a sticky situation. That might be something I have to test. I mean, I have multiple copies of both. Because this has this attacks all enemies, places a decreased attack on all enemies, places a decreased defense if they have the decreased attack. Right? Counterattacks when hit by enemies. but this doesn't matter because if you have Minaya, he always counterattacks. So you're continually popping. So this guy you put in a hex set. He's got 27k HP, so the guy's gonna last forever. He places an increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. If this champion kills an enemy, that's not really a big deal. Has the provoke 3-turn cooldown. Places extra buffs on himself. Removes all debuffs from this champion before placing the block debuffs to increase defense if Minaya is on the same team. So he's always gonna, he'll put a buff. So as long as you don't have an increased defense on the rest of your team, this can reliably make him the high resistance. The only problem is now he's got to have high resistance and high accuracy, which makes it a little bit, the cost of entry is a little bit higher. But no, attacks all enemies has a 50% chance of decreasing each target's turn meter. I don't think there's a Hydra head you can do that too, so that doesn't matter. Attacks all enemy 2 times instead of 1. Yeah, but the 100%. So again, he's an AoE A1. So put him in a hex set with a ton of HP and damage. Like make him a nuker. We got to try this. We got to try a corner Minaya. When that drops, we're gonna try a corner Minaya in the Hydra, and we'll just have to. I guess we'll have to use a block bust because that honestly, it's too hard to control her A1. But she's got way more healing now. She's got shields. She's got block debuffs. That could potentially be an interesting little duo. I think we're going to have fun. Stay tuned for a video near you when this drops. Okay, so who's the other champion? Queen EVA. Let's remind ourselves about who Queen EVA is. Queen of the Dark Elves. The fallen Queen EVA. So right now she's got attacks on enemy has a 50% chance of placing heal reduction. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. Attacks all enemies, decreases turn meter by 20%. Resets the cooldowns on each of the champion skills. If any target is killed, has an extra 15% chance of inflicting. So here's the problem with her right now. The problem with her, before even looking at it, first of all, her base attack is bonkers. So give her more damage. This here is cool. It decreases turn meter, it attacks all enemies, and resets all skills, including this one, if she's killed. Has an extra 15% chance of placing critical hit. I've said this 100 times. Who cares if all skills don't have that? I don't know why that's so hard to understand. So after the following changes, you'll see Queen EVA's performance in all types of arena battles, given she is on your team, of course. We have increased damage for all of her skills and added a 15% extra chance to crit on both her A1 and A2, so they listened to me. So now you can build her with only 85% crit rate, making room for other useful stats. Apart from these changes, her A1 will also now have a chance to place block buffs debuff on the enemy. So if you grant your Queen EVA some accuracy, you'll be able to make your opponent's damage dealer miserable. This is especially useful against champions with built-in survival mechanics or swift parry set. A2 will now ignore 50. Whoa! Her A2 will now ignore 50% of the target's defense. So that's going to be Alika level damage, and Alika's A2, A3, whichever one that is single target, does hit ridiculously strong. So that's nice. As this is a double hitter skill block built with built-in block revive, we won't envy players who decide to face Queen EVA with their UDK, Sun Wukong, or Rotos in the arena. So, Cauterize, which is this one right here. Damage increased. I mean, the multipliers are what it's all about, but again, sounds good. Attacks one enemy has a 70% chance of placing heal reduction debuff and a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. Has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Sounds good. Ancient Curse damage increase. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Ignores 50% of the target's defense. Has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. And then energy drain damage increased. So yeah, so there's the 2. There's nothing, there's no extra, there's no other, there's nothing. It's just those 2. I gotta say, I mean, Queen EVA, as always, when they say damage increased, whether this is successful or not really banks on whether or not the damage increase is enough. And they don't usually do a good job testing these. So we don't know from this description whether or not this is good. However, I think they're down the right path. They did the 15% chance on all 3. They added a beautiful block buffs on the A1 at 75%, which would then book to 100% chance of placing a heal reduction and a block buffs, which is nice. On an A1, that's potentially soul crushing. I like that. And then this, which has a block revive on a 3-turn cooldown with a ignore 50%, potentially with whatever that damage increase is. Queen Eva could be a boss, and luckily I have one built, though never used. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be I hope that's going to be a good one. I hope that's a Candrafon level change. I hope the changes make her Mashaled or Candrafon level. I think for me that would be amazing, because then you put another champion. She doesn't have to be S tier damage, but if she's A tier damage, I think that would be amazing. So we'll see what those mean. I don't know. Stay tuned. Also, I do plan on, probably I'll drop it tomorrow, but we're gonna do some live arena. I was recording a live arena session. I didn't realize how long it takes to do one, so I only got 4 fights in before it was closed. So that didn't really work out in the end for me, but that's fine. We're gonna dust ourselves off and try it again and get a little bit longer session and record it for you guys. I know you guys love watching me melt down in the arena, so that'll be fun for one of us anyway. And other than that, yeah, just enjoy your Queen Eva and Minaya. What do you guys think of the? What do you guys think? Was it enough? Do they have to also buff Cornor? Should Queen Eva get a lover? I think that would be nice for her too. Maybe we could find her. She's been through a lot. She got twisted from the queen of the elves to a dark evil person. They didn't change her back. She's a bad person now. She gets killed really early in the campaign. You know, she's had a tough 5 years. Maybe it's time to give her someone to love her. Maybe Ultimate Kale. Oh, because you know, you guys like seemingly like to dunk on Elhain all the time anyway, so might as well take her lover away too. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. As always, like and subscribe. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.